So what we're trying to achieve when it comes to big picture thinking, or particularly these strengths, is that feeling of consistency with the strengths. A lot of people, and I know I used to feel with dyslexia, that it drops in and drops out the strengths. And so what that means is that like sometimes you feel like you can do these things and sometimes you can't. And by understanding what is going on, it's easier to figure out, well, why is it that I'm not having that ability to problem solve? Why is it I can't see that pattern right now? So it's kind of giving you that ability to hopefully create more consistency with your dyslexic strengths so you can rely on them more. So what the hell is big picture thinking? Because it's one of those phrases that if you use it, it just doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't really connect to people. They don't really know what you're talking about. You definitely couldn't really use it in an interview. So when we think of big picture thinking, we're thinking of that top level view, looking down. I like to think of it like you're looking out of a window and you can see down, see all the interconnections of everything, see everything that's going on, see things at that higher level view, so that you're able to kind of pull in from that wider sphere of vision, able to be able to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, I can see everything at once and what is going on. Now, in terms of phrasing, the thing that I like to say is that it's strategic thinking, because it's one of those phrases that, you know, people want to hire a strategic thinker. They're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. That sounds wonderful. But if you say, oh, I've got big picture thinking, they're like, hey, I don't really know why that is exciting or what that means. But if someone uses the word strategic, you're like, oh yeah, I get what that means. That means being able to kind of see everything that's going on and pull the right levers and think about the right approach. Because it focuses on the whole area or concept rather than individual details down in the corner. And really being able to kind of see the overview of things can give you that ability to figure out the long-term potential, or how a plan might connect into something else, or how, you know, there's repercussions and ramifications of things. So this is what we're thinking about when we think about what we're talking about with big picture thinking. And then let's dive into some examples. So in terms of examples of what we're thinking of, like I said, it's seeing patterns, it's problem solving and simplifying ideas. So because we're sifting through more information, we're at that top layer, seeing everything that's going on, we're able to really spot and identify patterns. And so you're able to kind of say, okay, 6 months ago, I had this conversation, 3 weeks ago, I had this conversation, and a week ago, I had this conversation. And because I'm sitting at that higher level, I'm pulling in information from that wider sphere of vision, you can see that pattern and you can kind of connect and hold those things in your mind, even if it feels incredibly self-conscious and subconscious, and you can't even realize that it's happening. That's where the connection of big picture and pattern recognition comes in. And again, where you're thinking from that wider field of view, that's where problem solving comes in. You kind of had a thought and a conversation over here, and in your mind, it completely connects to something over here. And that's where you're able to bring in that unique thinking or that unique approach to problem solving and thinking, oh, okay, they don't seem connected and they don't seem important, but actually I can see how one can lead to another. A lot of the decisions and ways that I decided to build the business is based on a previous company I worked for, and they seem completely different. It was a financial education company, and now I'm helping dyslexic people, but a lot of the trends feel very similar in my mind, and the things that they were trying to do and the things that we were trying to do, and being able to kind of connect those two. The other thing that is a very common dyslexic strength that just doesn't have the good press that problem solving and pattern recognition has is the ability to kind of like wrap things in a neat bow and explain things smoothly and quickly. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, Natalie, I've got jumbled ideas, jumbled thoughts, and jumbled words, I'm many things, but I'm not simplifying things. This is where we're talking about the importance of big picture and being able to like have all the data is incredibly important for being able to simplify something. I cannot tell you how many times my thoughts have come out as gobbledygook, but when it's something like big picture thinking that I've been talking and teaching about for a long, long time, it is really easy for me to simplify it and explain it very quickly and very easily, like the aeroplane sitting at the top. But that's taken me a long time of really building up that overview and that wider field of vision to be able to explain things and simplify things. So if you find that things are easy and you're quick at able to communicate them or explain them back to someone, then it could be that it's kind of become like an encyclopedia in your mind. You really have all of the pieces of the knowledge that you need to be able to do things like this. So simplifying things can feel like that very inconsistent strength, but it is so important that we're able to have all of the information to be able to do these things.